Just because an issue isn't happening to you right now doesn't mean that an issue isn't real. I'm so lucky that I've been able to find someone that loves me and truly cares about me and is willing to make eternal commitments with me. However, with the person that I chose to love comes a lot of things. One of them being discrimination. Discrimination because the person that I love is a different skin color than me. And I never thought that would be something that I would be going through, something that I would face, and something that we would still have to talk about in 2021. But here we are. A lot of times, a lot of people that are interracial couples, they find themselves victims of things being said from both sides, whether, it's supposed to be really harsh comments or just snarky ones. It is something that's very, very hard to understand. I was blessed enough to have someone that, like I said, loves me, supports me, and loves me for who I am. But there have been times where I have felt out of place in certain ways. Before making this speech, it actually tugged on my heartstrings this week when I saw the interview done by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. That interview hit a little home for me because she talked a lot about how she felt discrimination living where she was in a different country that might not understand racism the way that, the US does. She faced a lot of comments, and one of them stood out to me the most when, she opened up to Oprah and talked about how there were comments that were made about, the baby's skin color, her baby, because she was pregnant at the time, and whether he would be dark or white. And it took a lot of people by surprise, especially Oprah. And I remember myself having those types of discussions as well, that I never really thought would be a discussion. I love my fiance's family so much, so much, and they are so accepting and so loving of me as a person, and they love to learn about my culture. But it reminded me of a comment that someone had made one time about whether or not our children will be a different color, and also, knowing that, our children would never look like their cousins or the rest of their family. They will be different. And so that just kind of hit a little close to home when Meghan Markle brought that up. But discrimination towards interracial couples is still real. It wasn't that long ago when we were learning about the Supreme Court ruling Loving versus Virginia, in where a couple, a white man and a black woman, were two consenting adults, got married in Virginia and were living a good life until a couple months later, a sheriff knocked on their door in the middle of the night and barged in and arrested both of them. Their crime was for being in love, and they weren't allowed to be together in the state of Virginia. They had to move and live somewhere else, and they had this court case with the Supreme Court. And it's just crazy to think that, a couple years ago, my relationship in 40 states would have been considered illegal. It would have been considered a crime, and I wouldn't have been able to marry the love of my life. There's also like a lot of discrimination as well when it comes to couples nowadays that are willing to take the risk and get married. There have been a lot of reports and a lot of studies that a lot of interracial couples feel like they're being discriminated against, whether it's a vendor or, someone helping them with their wedding, they feel that. And it's not just people over exaggerating it. When you are being looked at, when you feel like people are putting their attention towards you in a place, that to me is when when someone's feeling that way. In Utah, it's not as bad because there are a lot of interracial couples in Utah. A lot of it has to do with the church and people, serving in different parts of the world, learning different cultures, and them wanting to be a part of that. But when we go to somewhere like Los Angeles or somewhere that doesn't have as much experience with interracial, it's more, everyone's staying in their own race group. That's when you start to get that feeling. I know I did when I brought my fiance, who at the time was my boyfriend, to meet my family. And when we were out in the streets, when we were in downtown LA, I would feel that. And I would get that feeling that people were staring and looking, because my fiance does not look at all Hispanic and cannot pass as Hispanic, and he doesn't speak Spanish. So it easily was something that was a worry. Many studies have been done of people being told or reporting that they face discrimination, out in the streets, whether that's someone yelling something at them or someone making rude comments, not part of your family. That also plays a big factor into it. And so I would say interracial couples do face a lot of things that normal couples wouldn't face. Not only are you trying to learn someone's culture, not only are you trying to learn someone's language, their traditions, you're also trying to make sure that you're not offending anyone in any way, whether it's the way you say something. I know I've had my fiance tell me that he's very cautious about how, if something would be okay or if it sounds right. You basically are learning something new. And I would say to the people that are feeling discrimination in interracial couples, all the me's and the Meghan Markles and Prince Harrys of the world, that it does get better, it does get easier. Everyone has different circumstances, everyone has different family members and comes from different backgrounds, but no one should be able to feel bad about who they love. No one should ever have to think about, is it okay that I'm loving this person, or is this bad? We see skin color, we aren't blind, but that shouldn't be something that we have to see and love. That shouldn't be something that should be pointed out. As long as two consenting adults love each other very much, that's all that really matters. And so there needs to be change made with interracial couples and how they are seen in society.